Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I welcome you all to yet another episode with Gifted Hands Fashion House. Today I'll be teaching you how to make an off-shoulder dress. I'll be making this off-shoulder. I started with my 1 inch allowance. It's advisable you make out 1 inch allowance whenever you are making any work. So this is my 1 inch allowance, and then for me to get that off shoulder, I have to off the shoulder. And whenever you hear of off shoulder, for you to know that it's an off shoulder, look at it. There's no shoulder. Okay, there's no shoulder attached to it. So to off my shoulder, I need to make it -4, -5, or -6, depending what you want. If you want it to be very revealing, you can even make it -7. It's up to you. So for this one, I'll be making it -4. Whatever you want to subtract, whatever you want to use for your off shoulder, place it at that line, that starting point. So this is my off shoulder. This is 5 inches I want to use to off my shoulder. So I'm off the shoulder with -5. You see my 5, I placed it on the line. Okay, so this is how if you want to make it -4, place it like this. If you want to make it -7, you place it like this. -8, you place it like this. So whatever you want to off, just remove it and then take the other measurement. So this is my -5. The next measurement I'll take is my chest line. I'm working with a chest line of 9 inches. My chest line is 9 inches, followed by my bust point. I'm working with a bust point of 12.5 inches, followed by my under bust of 16 inches, half length of 19 inches, and seam allowance. So the next thing to do, I'm going to connect all these lines. Because I'm making it with a pattern paper, I didn't mind folding it with my measurement. So I'll still tell you how to fold it in case you want to do yours directly. To fold this this fabric, for you to fold your fabric, you need to use your bust measurement, your bust divided by 4. Your bust divided by 4 plus 5 to 6 inches seam allowance. 5 is a standard, but if you cannot manage 5 inches, you add 6 inches. So your bust divided by 4, whatever result you get, add 5 inches to it. So having done that, I'm going to take my next measurement. I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement. Let me label this first. This is my starting point, my bust point, chest line, bust point, under bust, half length, seam allowance. So now, remember, this is how you place your fabric, your tape, whenever you are taking any measurement with an off shoulder. If it's -4, your tape must always be like this. If it's -7, your tape must always be like this whenever you're taking any measurement. So I've placed my one of 5, and I took my measurement of I took my chest line of 9 inches, bust point of 12.5, under bust of 16, half length of 19, and seam allowance. The next thing to do is to take my nipple to nipple measurement. I'm working with a nipple to nipple of 9 divided by 2, 4.5, plus half inch is 5, plus half is 5 inches. So I'll mark my 5 here. And remember, it's a princess dart off shoulder. Take note, it's a princess dart off shoulder. So here's my nipple to nipple. The next thing I'll do, at the under bust, I'm going to mark my darts 2 inches by this side and 1 inch by this side. I'm marking 2 inches because the person that has this cloth is busty. But if the person is not busty, you can mark 1.5 inches here and 1 inch here. I'll repeat same thing here, 2 inches and then 1 inch. I'll connect it and take it down. The next thing to do, at this bust point, I'm going to come down by 1.5 inches because she's busty. But if she's not busty, I'll come down by 1 inch or 0.75. So I'll connect this here and connect this one to this part. So I'll use this to connect it. Connect this one and then I'll connect this too. So this is just what I have here. Now the next thing I need to do, I'll be taking my measurement up here, my neckline and my shoulder per se, though it's an off shoulder, but you see how I do this. My shoulder, I'm working with a shoulder of 16 inches. 16 divided by 2 is 8. Since it's an off shoulder, I'll subtract 2 inches from 8 to get 6. So what I'll do, I'll just mark that 6 here. Here's my 6. Okay. Okay, what I need to take now is my bust measurement. So I'll place my tape like this and take my bust measurement. So my bust measurement is 49 divided by 4. 49 divided by 4 is 12.25. I added 0.25 for ease. So I'm using 12.5. So this is my bust measurement. I'll now connect this point I marked here, this shoulder I marked here. I'll connect it to this chest line. Connect it like this. So here's my armhole now. Okay, here's my armhole. Now the next thing to do, I'm going to take my neckline measurement. Remember it's -5, so I'll still place my -5 like this. Depending what you want for your neckline, if it is 7, 6, 8, it's up to you. I want to use 7, but I'll first mark it at 6 because it's going to be a sweetheart neck. So I'm going to take my neckline measurement. For me to do that, I'll equally place my -5 like this. Place my tape at -5. You can mark it 6, 7, or 8, any one of it, depending how deep you want it. So I'll prefer mine to be 7 inches. Right now, I'm going to connect it. In connecting, I want it to be a sweetheart neck. Okay, so I'm going to place it like this to get my sweetheart. The reverse of let me use this. I want it to be more of curved like this. So you can make your sweetheart like this, just curve it. Okay, like this. Okay, so I want mine to be sweetheart, but if you want round neck, that means you place your tape like this and connect. Alright, but I want sweetheart, so I place my tape like this to connect my sweetheart neckline, just like this. Alright, now aside this, having done this, I want, since it's going to be a princess dart, so to make this princess dart off shoulder, I'll mark about 2.5 inches here. This is 2.5. From this point, from this neckline point, mark 2.5. From the shoulder point, mark 2.5. So I've marked my 2.5. It's constant. Now, this is a 2.5 here. The next thing I'll do, I'm going to separate this 2.5 by 1 inch on both sides. I'm doing this so that I can get my princess dart. The next thing to do, I'm going to connect this line down to this bust point. Connect this one to the bust point and connect this one as well to the bust point. So down to bust point. I'll connect the next one to my bust point, and then I'll connect this one as well to my bust point, just like this. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do, remember this 2 inches I marked on these two sides. If I have to cut it off without including that 2 inches, this part is going to be shorter. Okay, so to avoid it being short, these 2 inches I mark on this side, I'll bring it back here and connect it as well. So here's the 2 inches, these 2 inches here. So I've marked it back here. And then I'm also, as you can see, we have about 1.25 inches here. I'll also bring it out here, but I'll extend it to 2 inches. Just make it 2 inches. And then I'll connect my new armhole. Here's it, my new armhole. Okay, this is my new armhole. Now the next thing to do, I'm going to take the side measurements. I'll take my side measure. Mind you, I've not added any allowance yet. So I'll take my side measurement. I'll start with already I have my bust measurement. What I will simply add at this bust area is my seam allowance. So the next measurement is my under bust. My under bust is 42. 42 divided by 4 is 10.5, plus this allowance here, this that 3 inches. 10.5 plus 3 is 13.5. I'll mark 13.5 here. I'll move down to my waist, which is on the half length. My waist measurement is 42.5. Divided by 4 is 10.625. 10.625 plus this allowance here, which is 3 inches, will give me 13.625. I'll mark it. So the next thing is for me to connect what I have here. Connect it. Connect. I've not added allowance. So right now, I can add my 2 inches seam allowance. 2 and 2. I'll connect as well. If you want, you can add 3. So this is what I have. This is what I have for my um, off shoulder princess dart bustier. I'm going to cut it like this. Remember this part, you just blend it. The essence of this is so that it will not be pointed. So I'm going to cut like this. Let me say, I'll start from here. I'll cut it up to this point, cut here, and then cut to this point. And I'll also start from here. From here, I'll cut to this point, cut it, come here, and cut. So I'll do that now. Guess what I have? Just like this. This is all we'll be needing for the front part. So as I place it like this, here's my bust point. I'll notch it. I'll notch here and notch here. You need to have your bust point so that it will be easy for you to pad up. I want to cut the center part. I want to trace it on the main fabric and cut. And I want the zip to be at the front. So I've marked my zip allowance here. You can see it from this close edge. I mark my 1 inch zip allowance. So I'm going to cut it now. So here is the front part. I've cut it out and I've also attached my part to it. You can see it. I cut out this part and I cut this one just like this. I also sew it here with 1/4 inch. I attach them together with 1/4 inch. So what I'll do now is to cut off the excesses, then I'll shape the part to get the right shape. Please, if you don't know how to attach part to your fabric, check the link below. There's a link below this channel. Check that link. You'll see other videos where we did our part, where we padded our blouses. So you can check it and get a good information. So I'll take it to my machine now. I'll place it like this and I'll stitch like this. Make sure the under bust and bust point match together. I'll stitch it up and then I'll stitch also this part. I'll stitch up this part too. Then remember my zip is going to be at the center part. Here's my zip allowance. So I'll do that and show you. Okay, we want to make the back. I've already cut it out with my bust measurement. My bust divided by 4 plus 5 to 6 inches seam allowance. I've cut it out. And then here's my chest line. Here's my under bust. And here's my half length. From this half length here, I have my seam allowance. Okay, that's my starting point on my shoulder line, and then here's my chest line, my under bust, half length, and seam allowance. So right now I'm going to take my shoulder measurement. My shoulder is 16 divided by 2, 8. 8 minus 2 inches. I have 6. So here's the 6. Here's my 6. And I'll still place my tape like this. This is my chest line. So I can connect this to this point. Then I'll place my tape. I'll place my tape like this to take the width of the length of my neck. I can use a length of 7 inches. I can use a length of 8 inches, depending which I want. So I've cuffed my neckline. Here's it. And then the next thing to do is to take my bust measurement. My bust divide by 4. I have 12.25. My bust is 49 divided by 4, 12.25. I'll add like 0.5 inches for ease. So I have 12.75. I've marked it here. So I'm going to connect it now. So I've marked my armhole. Here's it. Now the next thing I'll do, I'm going to take my nipple to nipple measurement. My nipple to nipple is 5 inches. So I'll mark 5 all over. Then I'll connect it. Now from this point, I'll mark my dart of half inch on both sides and then I'll connect it. The back dart starts from 9 inches or 1 inch below your chest line. Okay, I can draw it like this, but when I'm sewing it, I may not go up to this point. So the next is to take my measurement. Um, I already have my chest line, my bust measurement here. So here I'll take my under bust measurement of 42. 42 divided by 4 will give me 10.5. 10.5 plus this allowance, 1 inch here, 11.5. So I'll mark 11.5 here. Then my waist measurement is 42.5 divided by 4. My waist is 42.5 divided by 4 is 10.625. 10.6625 plus this 1 inch here, 11.625. I'll mark it. So the next thing is to connect my all I've marked. I just connect it. And then I'm going to fix in my allowance of 2 inches here. So I've added my 2 inches allowance. As you can see, I didn't add any zip allowance here because the zip is going to be at the front. Okay, so I'm going to cut it out now. So I'm done cutting it. Here's what I have. Here's my dart line. So I'll join the dart and fix it.